Sunday night, December the 4th, live for us. TLC post show. TLC 2016, Michael's in the books. SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view is over. Alongside Michael, as always, thank you for joining me. Welcome back to the Slam Pigs podcast.
You are very welcome. You should be.
It was a night of wrestling.
It was.
Some ups and downs.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, where can everyone find us at on Twitter, Michael?
Everybody, look for us. Slam Pigs Podcast on Facebook or on Twitter at the Slam Pigs Podcast, or as always at the Big TMD. Travis, anything else?
You have a personal Twitter.
I do, but I don't need to plug it. Everybody knows. I do. At Mike the Slam Pig. If you don't know, now you know. You know?
TLC was tonight. Mike, we just want to start at the bottom or the top of the card, not the pre-show. Fuck the pre-show.
Let's start from the beginning.
Let's do it. The show opened up tonight. Tag team title match. The Wyatts.
The Dimes.
Huh?
The Dimes.
The Dimes titles look like dimes.
Yep.
Randy Orton. I always said Randy Wyatt. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton versus I Got Kids. Heath Slater and Rhino, Michael. Now, I think everyone knew going in that the Wyatts were going to win this. Let's be honest.
It was well predicted.
And I think if they're smart, they're going to book Alpha and the Wyatts at the Rumble. And that's when I think Randy Orton's going to do the turn, leading up to a WrestleMania match, honestly.
I don't know who they're going to book him against. I mean, I know Slater and Rhino are going to get a rematch possibly on SmackDown this week. No, maybe it's a little soon to be booking Alpha to be champs. I don't know. I'd like to see them win at Mania.
Yeah, but you know they want to get this split of Orton and Wyatt in before WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I mean, does it have to be done at the expense of American Alpha winning the belts?
Who would you put the belts on?
I don't know.
The Usos? Hype Brothers?
Yeah.
Hype Bros,
Yeah,
sorry.
I like the Hype
You like
Bros.
oh.
No, I don't.
Show's over. I'm shutting it down. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I'd like to see Slater and Rhino win it back. Maybe at the Rumble, and then they lose it to the Usos.
I was waiting on you to just say you're joking, but you're serious.
Well, no, then they lose it to the Usos. Then the Usos can take on American Alpha at WrestleMania.
And you think with Heath Slater and Rhino winning, that would be the turn for Orton on the Wyatts?
Yeah. It would be, well, because Bray's going to be way overconfident, not even looking at what could happen backstage or behind the scenes, going against Slater and Rhino again. You know, we already beat you in 5 minutes, so, you know, that's how I'd book it.
And the fact that they keep doing this angle where Orton keeps jumping in and taking it for Bray, it's kind of making it really obvious.
Yeah.
That, you know. I
did like the entrance tonight. Did you hear the pop during the entrance?
Yeah, they mixed Orton's old music with the Wyatt's music.
Yep, I liked it.
Well, that was your opener. In 5 minutes, nonetheless.
Orton was hot tonight. The crowd was loving them some Orton.
Yeah, Dallas, Texas.
Live, baby, live.
Dallas, Texas was a home, kind of a dead crowd tonight.
Yeah, a little dead. But it was a SmackDown pay-per-view.
We had new tag team champs, Michael, the Wyatts. I'm happy Bray Wyatt finally has a belt, whether it's a dime belt or not. I would like to think this is the restart. Like they hit the reset button. No pun intended on my other show.
Slater's got kids. Wyatt's got belts.
Wyatt's got bills.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, that brings us to the worst match of the night, in my opinion. Hardcore title. No disqualification match. Nikki Bella versus Carmella. I didn't even need to rhyme. Yeah. Carmella Bella
feud.
This match was a shit fest. I saw people online saying, "Oh, they had a good effort." Well, that's great. The match still sucked. I'm glad you put a good effort. I'm sure Repo Man put a good effort in every time he wrestled, Michael. I'm sure Giant Gonzalez gave it his all.
Yeah.
Were they good?
No.
Neither was this match.
No, it wasn't.
For one, a lot of it had to do with the women in it, let's be honest. I'm not a fan of either one of these women. No. I think they're both the shits, personally. Nikki Bella is a terrible person just outside of the ring, and that just kind of sways me away from her. But Carmella just doesn't impress me. She doesn't stand out. She's not that great in the ring. You had your kendo sticks, and you had your little spots, but there's nothing match.
It really didn't overshadow the big, overwhelming need for actual good wrestling, which did not happen in this match.
Yeah. Nikki Bella gets your win. No surprise to anybody. Well, why would Mrs. Cena lose?
Yeah. She doesn't lose on paper.
But after the match, it was revealed by Carmella that Nikki Bella was the one to attack. I'm sorry, Natalya was the one to attack Nikki Bella. I'm out of herbal supplements tonight, so I'm a little off.
Okay.
Apologize.
All right, I'll let it slide.
Like, nobody saw that fucking coming, by
Yeah.
the way. Like, once
We didn't
again.
call that.
Yeah.
But Natalya did. She did refuse to admit that she was the one. She still denies it. So maybe that leads to that should leave enough time for Nikki Bella to feud with Natalya in time for Becky Lynch to get her rematches in against Alexa Bliss until Nikki Bella finally takes the belt off of Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania or wherever she takes it from. There was a little rumor I saw this week that they're trying to get Ronda Rousey for WrestleMania against Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella?
Yeah.
Why not Asuka?
I
Fucking
don't
Nikki
know.
Bella?
I don't know.
Who the fuck believes that Nikki Bella stands a chance in hell? That's news to me.
Yeah.
I heard about Conor McGregor possibly, but not Ronda.
Yeah. It's just a rumor I heard.
Jesus Christ. Now we got to sit through Shaq and Big Show, possibly Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor and Heath Slater, or fucking Kurt Hawkins.
Well, Nikki Bella's supposed to be the face in the feud. Ronda Rousey's supposed to be the heel, which I don't understand why any WWE fan would want to boo Ronda Rousey.
I don't understand why any fans cheer Nikki Bella, but they do. They do. She gets cheered. Listen to the crowd. Any crowd. It's sickening.
It's pumped in.
It's not. Tonight was live, and she did get a nice little pop. I'd like to think it's just fans of Total Divas.
Probably.
And, 7-year-old girls.
I want to be like Nikki.
Yeah. I want big fake boobs and a terrible moveset and no charisma.
Yeah. Let's move right along.
Yeah.
I'm done talking about Nikki Bella. Next match of the night. Second best match of the night. Intercontinental title match. Ladder match, Michael. The Miz. The Miz.
The Miz. I like what you did there.
It's Dolph Ziggler. Now, first of all, did you see Ziggler's tights?
No.
He had USA tights. And I tweeted this out. If you were to put a mask on him, he's a Patriot. He had Patriot tights. Shout out to the Patriot. This is a great match. I mean, I'd expect nothing less. I think these two have probably had a ladder match or two before together. Miz gets your win.
Miz gets the win. Dirty tactics. Couple low blows at the top of the ladders. Ziggler goes down. The Miz dedicates his win to Daniel Bryan.
Well, let's address this. We've been talking about it for a couple weeks. Do you think they're going to pull the
Couple
trigger
months.
at this? Why would they continuously build this
It's been
up?
going on for months.
Why would they keep doing this if he wasn't going to wrestle?
I have no idea. Either unless they're setting him up for maybe one of Daniel Bryan's friends that could be returning or something. I don't know.
Or maybe Daniel Bryan has been cleared medically and it's been like a well-kept secret.
I don't think he will ever be cleared medically, but it is what it is. Maybe they'll clear him for one match, but
They won't clear Mick Foley. Mick Foley's been yearning for one more match, and they just won't let him. He's a lot older.
and fatter.
Well, he's not fat anymore.
He's still fat and old and out of shape. And Daniel Bryan still works out and could get in and have a match anytime he wanted.
I'm really seeing these two having a match at WrestleMania. Honestly,
I mean, that's the
I don't know
early,
if the title's involved.
that's the early prediction. I don't think it would be for the Intercontinental Championship. I think it would just be a grudge match. But
Back to this match. So the question: where does Ziggler go from here? Put guys over? You think this feud is now done?
I think Ziggler's done after WrestleMania or whenever his contract's up. But going back to Daniel Bryan and The Miz, I think it wouldn't surprise me if there was a retirement stipulation in that match. And The Miz wins. Just dirty tactics. That's how I see it playing out. Just Daniel Bryan one more match and the crowd's crazy for it and he loses.
I don't see that. You got to have Daniel Bryan win. Miz has done nothing but get the upper hand in all these promos. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could see it that way, but The Miz did lose the Intercontinental Championship to Dolph, so. But he won it back, so we'll see.
Good match.
But WrestleMania's a long way away. We got a lot before that.
Anything
so
could happen.
let's not jump the gun on that.
Speaking of good matches, here was a shocker of the night. I didn't think it would be as good as it was. Baron Corbin beat Kalisto.
Well,
And-
surprise.
Well, yeah, but usually we would rag on Kalisto match or Baron, but this was pretty good.
Well, it's a chair match.
But the
Kalisto-
spots they pulled off were
Well,
pretty
yeah,
good.
you got the flippity doo-dah guy against the big Baron Corbin smiley face belly.
Can we address the undies real
Yeah.
quick? The new
Look, it's-
undies from Kalisto.
Yeah, he looked like a mix between Lex Luger and a sumo wrestler. I didn't understand it, but whatever. I'm talking about Made in the USA Lex Luger, not
Narcissist.
yeah. I mean, he had it too. Narcissus had the nasty stuff too, but
The nasty stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, that was a good match.
At least nobody had a rip in their butt.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. The finisher was Baron Corbin and the days on the chairs.
Yes.
Sixth spot. Called him off a springboard, by the way.
Sure did.
But yeah, good little match.
Baron Corbin gets the win.
I think by this time next year, Corbin will have won a title or two. I think.
I hope not.
Well, we're not booking. I think he'll have an IC run under his belt by this time.
He should be very happy that he's on SmackDown.
Or I could even see him in the Wyatt family, honestly.
I mean, a lot of people have said that he'd be a natural fit for the Wyatts, but...
Not with the lone wolf gimmick, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Randy Orton kind of had a lone wolf thing, but it's wrestling.
We all know where that's going.
Women's title match, Michael. Now, they advertise this as the first ever women's tables match.
Can I just go on record and say how much I hate tables matches?
You're not a fan?
It's my least favorite stipulation match, and here's why. You have a ladder match, okay? Whoever grabs the belt wins, okay? But you get thrown onto a ladder, they keep wrestling. You have a chairs match. You get hit with a chair, you keep wrestling. You have a tables match.
Not a table.
Somebody goes through a table, the match ends. That's it.
Ding, ding, ding.
I hate that. I just don't like it. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I can take or leave tables, but depending on who's in it, this is definitely a tables match that I did not like.
Plus, I don't like being teased the whole match either. It gets on my nerves. Like, I just wish a tables match didn't have to end when somebody went through a fucking table. Why can't you just use tables? I mean, I believe it happened before in a tag match with the Hardys and the Dudleys where people went through a table, but the match wasn't over yet. So both people had to go through tables and such. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like tables match in general.
Yeah,
not my cup of tea.
Well, let me get this out of the way while I address this. I don't like this whole TLC pay-per-view concept. I haven't since it first debuted because by the time the main event rolls around, you're stacking gimmick match on gimmick match. Now, this was an exception because AJ Styles did some insane spots tonight, let's be honest. Some shit nobody's ever seen, but usually the crowd is completely burnt out by the end of a TLC show. And I just think everyone's desensitized from, like, the train wreck, the brutality. Yeah. Maybe one or two, but every match being a gimmick, I don't like it.
I think luckily tonight, I feel like they booked it good to the point, or I should say to the point in which a lot of the other matches weren't too long to where the main event was going to be overshadowed.
Yeah.
Aside from the ladder match and the Corbin Kalisto match, I mean, as we were getting ready to go over, the tables match wasn't very good. The Bella Carmella match wasn't very good. And the tag match was the only match that didn't have a stipulation in it.
Yeah.
So,
which was also the shortest match. The main event went like 30 minutes. It was the longest. Second longest was the IC title match. But
it just... that they did do well in making it so that the main event was the most entertaining match.
Yeah.
But I still don't like all the gimmicks in one pay-per-view. I never have.
Yeah, just like Hell in a Cell.
How many Hell in a Cell matches do you have to see in one night?
After a while, they all start blending together.
Yeah.
Because they don't go up top anymore.
I mean, nothing has ever surpassed the first one, and I would find it hard to believe that anything ever would.
Fully take the second one is close. First and second, it's never going to get better than that.
I don't know how you top those.
I like the one with Triple H and Foley too, where he did the back body drop through the
Foley's supposed last match.
Yeah,
the last match of his career.
Well, let's stop talking about the glory days of wrestling and current days of wrestling. The women's title match, Michael, it wasn't anything special.
Tables match.
My opinion, and I think when the brand split first happened, we thought the women on SmackDown would outshine the Raw women. I don't see that at all.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
I feel like the women on SmackDown are very underwhelming for me. Especially when your women's title match is this boring.
This is pretty boring.
I thought this match was the shits.
A lot of people say they told a story. It was slow paced. No, not here.
I thought it was boring.
I don't know.
It was the shih tzu.
Let's talk about that mad air Alexa Bliss got on that suplex by Becky Lynch.
Oh my God, she got almost 3 inches off the ground on that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do love Alexa Bliss's bootay. That's one good thing that did come from this match.
The cameraman deserves a raise.
Yes, there was a lot of Alexa Bliss butt shots, which I did appreciate.
What?
Aside from that,
women's champ.
We got a new SmackDown women's champ.
Blue women's champ.
Yep, new blue women. But it is Alexa Bliss getting the win. Powerbomb onto a table.
You called it. I thought Becky was going to retain.
No.
They just put the title on Becky Lynch.
Tables matches. Well, Becky Lynch has had it since they split the brands pretty much.
Yeah, I guess it just goes so fast.
So it's been a few months now, and I'm surprised that she held on to it this long as Nikki Bella's been back. I mean, I think everybody knows that's who the belt's going on. Yeah. It's Mrs. Cena. She has to have the belt. She's on all these TV shows. We have to make her the champ.
Speaking of Mrs. Cena, I can't believe I didn't bring this up when we were talking about that match earlier. You had a little war of words this week on Twitter with Melody.
We're not going to go over it. It wasn't even a war. It was just, a war would...
Your disdain for Nikki and her love for Nikki.
Yeah.
Just mixed like oil and water.
I wouldn't even call it a war. It would just be me trying to figure out what it is that anyone would find interesting in Nikki Bella.
I think our friend Eric, he puts out the hashtag 5-star Nikki, but he does it on purpose to get a rise out of people. But man, you serious Nikki Bella? I just don't get it.
Can you please, anyone, please name me one Nikki Bella match that is memorable to you?
I can. The one with Charlotte where Charlotte won the title. That was a decent match.
That's the only one.
That's literally the only one that's sticking out in my mind.
And how long has she been in the company?
Yep.
And Melody tried to make, well, they don't put her in with good enough opposite. What do you mean?
That red hot feud with Eva Marie, I totally forgot about.
That's supposed to be another plan that maybe Eva Marie's supposed to be coming back soon and she's going to win the belt.
From her Adderall suspension.
Yeah, whatever it was.
But it was Adderall.
That could be another feud at WrestleMania, Eva Marie and Nikki Bella.
Yippee.
Yeah.
I'm just boiling with excitement.
But I get tired of excuses being made for Nikki Bella. I'm sorry, she's not that good.
It literally is that. When I get on Twitter, it's people defend this woman to the ends of the earth. But when you try to get them to back that up, they got nothing. Mm-hmm. And this isn't a shot to you, Melody. You're all entitled to like who you like. It's just...
You can have your own opinion, but please have something to back it up to explain why you think they're so good.
Yeah.
Name me one thing that they do in the ring that's innovative. Name me one thing they do on a microphone that's entertaining. And then maybe I could get on the bandwagon with you.
Even Brie. Brie was even worse.
Brie was worse because of all the grunting in the ring. That was so annoying.
Come on, Nikki!
Brie mode!
Whoever came... Well, she came up with Brie mode. But whoever marketed that should be fired immediately.
Jesus Christ.
Brie mode? The fuck is that? Picture back in the 80s. Sherry mode! The fuck is that? Sherry would...
Leilani Kai mode.
You know what? Joke about Leilani Kai or Judy Martin or any of the classics. They would wipe the mat with either of the Bellas. Hands down. Even the jobber ladies back then.
I would love to see any of these girls right now wrestle Moolah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Moolah in her prime would make these girls scream.
Well, yeah. I could see Asuka and Moolah. That'd be a
goodie.
Ooh.
That'd be physicality.
I'd love to just throw one of the Bellas in there with Medusa in her prime. Or Bull Nakano. God, give me Bull Nakano versus a Bella.
Well, you got Nia Jax.
You want to get on that real quick?
Bull Nakano 2016.
I'm sick of Nia Jax, too. I'm sick of the same thing we were just talking about Nikki Bella, the defense of Nia Jax. She sucks. Oh, I'm sorry. Who's her relatives? Oh, that's why she has a job. Moving on. The Samoans. The Rock is her cousin.
Yes, I get it. I mean, I'm not new.
Well, for the listeners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know you're on board. But that was your women's title match, Michael. Well deserved. Congratulations to Alexa Bliss.
Yes, hopefully you can have better matches.
Yes. I've seen her have better matches in NXT. She's totally capable of it. Let's get to the reason we're all here. The best match of the night, the main event, Michael. TLC match for the WWE World Championship. The challenger, Mr. Sell Job himself, Dean Ambrose. God damn.
Jesus, could you learn how to sell?
Against the champ, the man, AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
First of all, unbelievable. 2 spots in this match, and you know what I'm talking about. The suplex onto the chairs, it was like a power bomb in the end. Holy shit.
Well, he did an inverted flip onto all the chairs, and then he did the springboard 450.
Oh my God.
Did the springboard 450 onto the table.
I've seen Styles do that in TNA, but never through a table.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen him do it to the outside. Maybe he did do it, but, you know, it's TNA.
That was definitely a great spot. And we did get a bit of a swerve at the end of this match, Travis. What happened?
Somebody called it, I think, though.
You did call it.
The chinless freak, the human slug, the man with no chin, James Ellsworth came out, Michael. Gave Dean Ambrose... Let's get a
little bit of help.
We got a lot of problems in the main event we need to get off our chest. First of all, this made no sense for James Ellsworth to turn on Dean Ambrose. What the fuck sense does that make?
No.
I get it. You wanted to shock people, but there's got to be some continuity. And God damn it, it's always that continuous word.
My issue was the timing on this match. Like, if you're going to have James Ellsworth come out, why was he coming out when Styles was going to win in the first place? Like, Styles was already up on the ladder.
And he attacked him.
Yeah. Like
when he came out.
Styles is already up on the ladder getting ready to win. and James Ellsworth comes out, because Dean Ambrose is out on the outside, there's no way he was going to break this up.
Yeah.
So what psychology-wise, what sense did this make to have Ellsworth come out when Styles was getting ready to win, just to help Styles win later?
Yeah. It made none.
Who was Pat Patterson at his best? Like, would never consider doing that. It's I don't know who's sitting Gorilla right now, but they really need to work their shit.
I'm pretty sure it's Triple H. Pretty sure he runs Gorilla.
It made no fucking sense to me.
It didn't.
If you're
really
going to
didn't.
have him come out, you need to have him come out when maybe both guys are up on the ladder dueling it out, and then you see...
Yeah.
You see...
So you don't know.
Yeah, then you see Ambrose get the best of it, then that's when he interferes. You don't have him come out when Styles is getting ready to win anyway.
I'm pretty sure you're the same way as me. We're picky, but we don't split hairs a lot.
Yeah,
it's wrestling. We get it. You get a little leeway sometimes. But this case...
It made no sense booking-wise.
It made no sense. It really did.
Like, why is he coming out when Styles is about to win the title just to help him win it again in 10 minutes?
I think once again a great main event was tarnished by James Ellsworth. And you know what? I would say great timing on WWE, but they had no clue that the fans are already starting to sour on Ellsworth and Ambrose. I tweeted out right before we started doing the show to our friend Eric once again, Roman of SmackDown is Dean Ambrose. The fans are just turning on him straight up. And I think they're recognizing what we are about to get into. His selling, his work is fucking atrocious. You've never been trained. You've never been trained. I've never been trained. I've watched wrestling for almost 30 fucking years.
When you get thrown through a table, you don't just lay there with your eyes open looking like nothing's wrong.
You don't wait for someone to cue you that the camera's on you.
Yeah.
You fucking sell it. You just close your eyes. Take a nap.
Christ.
I don't give it. Think about the Renee Young's pussy you're going to eat backstage after the show.
You're supposed to at least act like you're knocked out. And it wasn't even like he had his eyes open looking like he was concussed or something.
He was just laying there.
He just looked like he was laying there like, oh, yeah.
Thinking about getting a soda pop,
yeah,
you know.
It's stupid.
It's not just tonight with Ambrose. It's that stupid springboard on the ropes we've talked about. It's just,
I believe I brought that up first.
Well, if you didn't, I thought it, so. But I just don't get why this guy is at the top of the card. Especially since the Stone Cold podcast where he was made to look like a complete jackass by Austin, who called him out. He said, hey, cut me a hell of a promo. Show me what you got. Ambrose bombed. It was awful. Ambrose just does nothing for me. He's an IC guy, Michael. He is not a top guy.
And a couple years ago, you and I were begging for him to get a push. And now he's gotten it, and we see why they were so hesitant to give him one.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those few times where I'm like, okay, Vince, you were right. This guy doesn't have it.
We don't even know if Vince was against it. That's just our guess. But
I mean, as long as he's been in the company and for as long, that whole almost year period there where he was losing on almost every pay-per-view, we were all kind of to the point where, can this guy get a push?
When everybody actually wanted to get behind him. And then you wait too fucking long.
And it happened and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those rare cases where I can say I was wrong.
Oh, my God. Guys, hit the record button on that.
I was wrong about Dean Ambrose.
I don't know, man. I just think that his reign, when he was a champion, will go down as one of the worst reigns of all time. In my opinion, I think he's one of the worst champions of all time.
Back when they were the Shield, I said that Dean Ambrose had the most upside out of all three.
I thought he did too.
And I was totally wrong.
I thought Rollins would be your Jeff Hardy of the group, Roman your shit kicker, and Ambrose the total package.
Yeah, and it didn't turn out to be that way.
It's completely turned to be Seth Rollins,
And fucking Ambrose was the first one to win a singles title out of all three. He had the United States Championship.
The belt that he had that he never defended for like a year, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
I don't know. Sorry, everyone. I was wrong about
we're
Dean Ambrose.
We're not fucking sorry. You don't gotta apologize to anybody. It is what it is. Ambrose is not impressing me. And I don't think that he's... If I was a backstage agent, I would have reamed him the fuck out for that sell job on the outside. Let's be honest.
Wasn't very good.
Picture going back, Arn Anderson's waiting for you with his arms crossed. Come here, kid.
And how many times do you have to show the crowd during the match?
That's another thing tonight. I've never seen... Like, they do the replay. That's one thing after every fucking move. That gets old enough.
Now they're starting to show crowd reactions.
And there's no reactions.
No.
It was just them sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there weren't people on their fucking phones.
Yeah.
I'm getting fired up, man. Ambrose has got me so pissed off. Like, legit.
Maybe they saw Ambrose had his eyes open.
I'm just over it. Please go down to the mid-card. Feud with James Ellsworth through WrestleMania and be a novelty act at this point. Can we flat out say, I don't think they're ever going to give him the belt again, unless he turns heel. I don't think we're ever going to see babyface Ambrose.
He definitely needs to reinvent himself if he's going to get another push.
I just think he's a case of he works so much better as a heel. He's an awful babyface.
Could be.
He could have been a great babyface if this was like the Attitude Era where he's got more like freedom to do crazier shit. But this is like Brian Pillman light.
Yeah.
And who the fuck wants that?
Nobody.
Nobody.
But AJ Styles, still your champ.
Well, let's tell everybody the ending. We didn't even talk about that.
Ellsworth pushed the ladder.
Ambrose got the dirty deeds on the steps
Yep.
to AJ Styles on the outside. Styles was out with help from James Ellsworth. It looked like smooth sailing for Ambrose. Ambrose goes in the ring, ascends the ladder. Swerve job. Vince
Ellsworth.
Russo, bro.
Yep.
Hey, bro.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Ellsworth pushes fucking Ambrose.
Stick to New Jack. Get off the Vince Russo.
I'm not fired enough to be New Jack.
You're way better at New Jack than that.
Hey, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the finish. That was your main event.
Ellsworth pushes the ladder over. Ambrose goes through the tables to the outside. We were wondering the whole match why those tables are sitting there.
You knew it was coming.
It finally, once you saw where the ladder was,
Yeah.
I think you made the comment, are those tables still out there? Yep.
When you've watched wrestling long enough and you notice the guys set up the ladder 15 feet away from the actual fucking title,
Yeah.
when my daughter could set up the ladder under a title, probably, you know something's going to happen.
And that's what happens. And AJ Styles grabbed the belt. He's still your champ.
That was TLC, Michael.
That was TLC.
No Undertaker, like everybody thought. The crowd actually had some Undertaker chants going.
Didn't happen.
Everybody assumed.
Not happening yet.
You guys act like WWE doesn't know the thing called the fucking internet.
Yeah.
They know you guys think the Undertaker's coming out. They're not stupid.
They're probably the ones that leaked it.
They're probably going to hold off till SmackDown.
That's what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of these rumors come from people in WWE.
Yep.
They want you to talk about it.
Yep. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad press, as long as you guys are talking about the company, it's good to them.
Shit they don't want you to know about, you won't know about.
Exactly.
Trust me.
Exactly.
It's just the way it is. We're not that smart. I mean,
we're not on the inside. As much as everyone wants to think they're on the inside, they always one up you. They always throw a surprise in there you don't see coming.
Yep.
Who would have fucking figured Goldberg and Brock last month?
Yeah.
Who would have figured Orton and Brock 2 months before? You never know. So.
People think they know a lot more than they do.
Yeah, Tom Cushney.
Oh, God.
I'll call you right out. I don't like you. Kind of a prick. You never did anything to me personally, but...
Does he like men?
I was about to say, he was tweeting out a bunch of sexual things about Alexa Bliss, and I sent him a picture of Captain Jack Sparrow in the movie where he says, "You need to find yourself a girl, mate," because he does. So Tom Cushney, fuck you.
Also, a little side note. AJ Styles ripped his tights.
Yes, AJ Styles ripped a hole in his... Thank you for reminding me.
In his butt cheek.
Why couldn't that happen when Alexa
In his mullet-headed butt cheek. In his bob-headed butt cheek.
His degenerate mullet-headed butt cheek.
He's got a bob.
Got a big... What spot you think ripped the ass on his tights?
I'm not sure.
That chair spot, probably.
Could have been.
I don't know.
Could have ripped it on a chair there.
All I can say is thank God this wasn't a Samoa Joe match when that happened. So, or Braun Strowman.
Yuck.
Michael, TLC's in the books. Coming out of the show, we always do it. What is your final grade on TLC 2016?
C.
C?
I give it a solid C.
Fair enough.
There's some good things. There was definitely some bad things.
I think the good outweighed the bad, though.
That's why I gave it a C.
I'm gonna
give it a C plus.
I'm gonna go B minus.
Ooh,
Be a little
you're
more.
You're always more generous with the grading. I'm glad
really
you're not a
not.
teacher.
I'm really not.
There'd be a lot of stupid people passing in school.
I think, was it No Mercy I just destroyed? I hated that fucking
Mercy.
pay-per-view. Yeah, I hated that fucking pay-per-view. One of the worst pay-per-views of the year. But yeah, this is solid B minus for me. The only thing that made this a B, they made it above a C. Was
what? Speaking of terrible pay-per-views, you know what I almost put on this day in wrestling history today instead of this Tuesday in Texas? I almost put December to Dismember.
Oh, ECW. One of the worst pay-per-views of all time.
No, WWE's version.
Well, WWECW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they had the fucking Elimination Chamber match, that was the worst pay-per-view of 2006.
Maybe we'll review that pay-per-view someday.
Oh,
With a special video.
What a shit stack sandwich.
Yeah, Hardcore Holly in the main event in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be...
Bobby Lashley won it.
Bobby Lashley won it, but originally it was supposed to be Punk.
Yeah.
Who was going to be the face of ECW. This was the last night of the company for years of Paul Heyman. Who ended up falling out backstage because Vince wanted Lashley. And
yep.
Saw how that worked out, Vince. Good call.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You see talent when you see it.
That's it, man.
Black Lesnar.
Pretty much. That's TLC. What do we got else on the show this week, man?
I think it's promo break time.
Promo break?
Yep.
You want to go? Or?
I think you had one in mind.
I do. You know what it is.
Something sweet. So sweet. Something so sweet.
Let's go with the classic 1970s. We're going maybe the oldest promo I think we've had, but it's good. You gotta admit. Young Dusty Rhodes and Vince McMahon in an empty arena. Blue-eyed soul, baby. Dusty Rhodes on the Slam Pigs podcast. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Baby doll, Dusty. You know, Bob Cattle throughout this country, the Great American Bash is a fever pitch. The Nature Boy Ric Flair comes out here and he talks about the many great things that is before him, 14 of the greatest competitors in the world. Nature Boy, the only man to ever walk in the Hemsley Palace with a t-shirt and jeans on while everybody else was standing in line to get in. And they said, yes, sir, Mr. Rhodes, come and sit down. That's the American dream, Dusty Rhodes. That's the wine and diner with kings and queens. That's the man that rolls in the mud with the brothers. That's the same guy. The only man that when he goes to New Orleans, Louisiana, doesn't get charged, you understand, by the agency escorting, if you will. That's Dusty Rhodes, the American dream. The Midnight Express with Bubba Rogers. Jim Cornette, bring your boys down. Baby doll is prime. Ready. The country's ready. Nikita and Ivan Koloff and Crusher Khrushchev. The world's six-man heavyweight titles are two of the meanest men in the world today. They got tongues as long as the Nile River. They got arms and fists like thunderbolts crashing through the sky. And the littlest road warrior of them all, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, is co-holder of that coveted title. So during the Great American Bash, you come for it. And 13 other men try hard, try long, but no Ric Flair, that one man, the American Dream, becomes world champion during the Great American Bash, the hottest ticket in town.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes and Baby Doll. All of you fans.
And we're back on the Slam Pigs podcast. That was Mr. So Sweet himself, Dusty Rhodes, cutting a famous promo as he always did.
Blue-eyed soul, baby.
He's got a lot of that soul, baby. He's got a lot of offense and some defense and a lot
Dusty in your top 5 all-time promo guys. All time. Gotta be. If he's not, you guys aren't doing it right.
Yeah, I don't know what you look for in a promo, but he's definitely got to be in it.
There was a mention of Dusty tonight. A little hard times mentioned.
Yeah.
On the pay-per-view.
A lot of hard times. I believe Dean Ambrose is the one that dedicated that.
Let's not talk about Ambrose. We're back.
Renee Young likes him.
It's pissing me off even more because that's like my wife. I love Renee Young. Thanks, Michael.
Even when she's all coked up.
Yeah, that's the best time with Renee Young. Anyway, we're back. TLC post show. We got some show left. We're not just going to run down the show. We got to fit in the top 3 this week. We're not going to talk about Raw and SmackDown because the pay-per-view just happened. It's meaningless anyway.
Got a new one in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we do have to mention Roadblock, End of the
End of the
line.
line.
You got to say End of the line.
Yeah, it's like SmackDown Live. You can't just say SmackDown anymore.
We do have a main event set for that since we last aired.
Yeah.
And we do have another entrant in the Royal Rumble, Michael. Let's get those 2 news stories out of the way real quick before we get to our top 3.
Get out of the way. Oh, you want me to do it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Get out of here, Roadblock, End of the line.
Well, we already knew Goldberg was going to be in the Royal Rumble. And big old skippity-doo-dah surprise. Guess who else is going to be in the Royal Rumble, Travis?
Brock Lesnar.
Yes. Lesnar is
Yeah,
going to be against Goldberg.
He had a hell of a promo on Raw from Heyman. Crying.
Yeah.
Not clean-shaven, looking disheveled. Paul.
Yep. Look gross.
Saying how Lesnar was really embarrassed and how would you feel?
He
And,
took him lightly, and
yeah. It's
now,
going to be interesting.
now he has a
Rumble.
point to prove, and how dangerous Brock Lesnar is when he has a point to prove.
I kind of feel like WWE owes us a little back pay because we pitched the idea of Brock being a surprise entrant in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Not quite announced.
Yeah.
They got to sell tickets.
Well, you figure there's been 2 entrants announced for the Royal Rumble, and it's Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. And then there's 28 other guys. And one of those 28 other guys has to win the Rumble. So that
I don't think Lesnar and Goldberg's winning the Rumble. Let's just say that right now.
No, neither one of them wins it. It makes no sense.
I'd love to see Ellsworth eliminate Lesnar, but now he's a fucking heel, so I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
Maybe he's Slater?
I think Goldberg and Lesnar eliminate each other somehow.
Like Batista and John Cena? Is
No.
Vince going to run out and tear his quads?
No,
Let's restart the match! Damn it.
No, but I think somehow they eliminate each other, and that's that.
Till Mania.
And then one of the other 28 guys wins the Rumble. We'll go into our predictions for that on a later date.
You seem a little tired tonight.
No, I'm fine. I'm a little disappointed in the pay-per-view tonight.
Yeah, took the wind out of you.
Yeah, it's not what I thought it would be.
It was a SmackDown pay-per-view.
Yeah, I kind of knew it was going to be a little
Backlash
lackluster.
was so good, though. The SmackDown. That was the best one so far.
Plus, the Survivor Series was pretty good, so I was kind of looking forward to see if the WWE could continue their run of good pay-per-views, and once again, I was highly disappointed.
Yep.
Yep.
You're not going to get it.
WWE, it makes sense. So, but
Also, Roadblock and a line title match announced.
Title
Roman
match.
Reigns.
the United States champion is now going for the Universal Championship. We just can't keep him down in the middle of the card, can we?
Yep.
Just can't do it. Like, evidently, punishment phase is over.
And I don't want to hear lack of star power on Raw.
No.
Because Raw is stacked.
I don't
Let's
want to
be
hear
honest.
that bullshit.
Um,
There's plenty of other guys that could be fighting for that championship other than Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. What, is Braun Strowman ever going to get a push? Like, he's never lost.
You're really big on Strowman the past couple episodes.
Well, I'm just saying, like, when is he going to be put into a position where he's, going for a title or doing something involved with
he's
the title?
too busy beating the shit out of Sami Zayn.
Evidently.
But yeah, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens had a match. Of course, Roman wins clean. Make Roman look strong. That's your main event for Roadblock. We'll be here in 2 weeks to cover that shit fest. Well, I'm sure we'll have a dual champion, Roman Reigns. Is it title for title?
No.
No, it's not.
It's just for the Universal title.
Like I said, we'll have a dual champion, Roman Reigns.
Yep. I mean, can Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho break up so maybe Chris Jericho could chase the title?
They're teasing
or-
that again now. They're
Yeah.
back on opposite pages.
Well, no, because after the match with Roman, Kevin was like, "Oh, he's still my best friend. We had a fight, but he's still my best friend."
Yeah.
Sounding like a married couple.
And Vince, he sees how over Jericho's getting as a heel. He just can't let it be. Turn it face. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
That's how
And it's
that
going to fucking ruin the whole thing with Jericho. Because what makes Jericho great right now is he's a heel.
Why can't they both still be heels and wrestle each other?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that like against the rules?
Apparently.
I don't know. But I mean, you also have Rusev sitting there doing nothing.
You do?
You got all kinds of talent on that roster, and none of it's being utilized to where it should be.
I think the main question, the bottom line out is this. I do not see Vince McMahon wanting Kevin Owens going into WrestleMania as his champion
Well, he shouldn't.
for Raw. You don't think?
I don't think he should be in WrestleMania
It's a new
as
era.
a champion.
New era.
I
How many
think-
times have we fucking heard that this year?
I see Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho at WrestleMania.
No title.
No title.
Just grudge match. I could see that, but it's a shame.
I see somebody else as champion by then, and I see Finn Balor winning the Royal Rumble.
Any surprise entrant?
Yeah.
And then it's Roman versus Balor again at Mania.
Whoever it is. I mean, didn't Balor won it off of?
He won it off for Rollins.
Yeah.
At SummerSlam and injured himself.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So,
I don't know. I
and
just
you
hope
still, you still have Rollins sitting back there. Evidently, the rumor is it's going to be him and Triple H. So you
if
got to
they
have
ever bring that storyline
Yeah,
back.
you got to have somebody for Balor to work with at WrestleMania. I'd rather it not be Reigns. But who knows? Maybe it's
Well, let me cut you off there. I think Balor is a good candidate. I don't think he's going to be ready by the Rumble, honestly. I don't think he's going to be healed up enough.
But if he was, who would you have as champion going against him at WrestleMania?
Going against Roman.
Going against Balor for the belt, because that's my
If
pick
he would
for
have
the
never
Ro-
been injured,
I'm talking about Balor winning the Rumble and getting his title shot. So who's the champ?
Roman Reigns. I think you do Roman Reigns and
Big
Balor
Dog versus
Little
big-
Dog?
the big face paint.
versus Scrappy Doo. No. Balor beat Reigns on Raw clean
Yeah.
to win that tournament or whatever. So Reigns definitely needs his vengeance, so to speak, against Balor. And I don't think Vince wants to end WrestleMania again this year with the babyface getting booed out of the building.
The Demon King versus the Big Dog.
And thankfully, they stopped calling Kane the Demon Kane. That's gone
Yeah.
now. It's just Kane, thankfully.
I mean, who knows? Maybe by then you could have a Samoa Joe been called up by then, and maybe he wins the title for WrestleMania against Finn Balor.
That's reaching.
Or Shinsuke.
That's really reaching.
Shinsuke.
Shout out to Shinsuke, who just beat Samoa Joe in Osaka last night,
Yeah.
regained the NXT title 2-time. Shinsuke.
So maybe Samoa Joe gets called up at some point and wins that belt, and gets him a little something.
Ugh, yeah, phrase it like that.
Yes.
About Samoa Joe.
Yes.
Give that man a sandwich.
Yeah. Title sandwich.
Yeah, not much. This is a post show. It's not a full-fledged podcast. Not a lot of news.
Maybe
other than-
Rusev wins the belt, and he's your champ at WrestleMania. You got the Demon King versus Rusev.
I could see that as like a Extreme Rules main event. Couldn't you?
What's wrong with it at WrestleMania?
Anyway, Jimmy Snuka, Michael, in the news
What?
this week.
You don't like Rusev?
Not with what they've been doing to Rusev. They need to build him
Oh.
back up first.
That's hurtful.
They've put this guy through
What
the
if
ringer.
Rusev wins the Rumble?
I'll be happy. Will you?
No.
No. Well, you just praise the man.
Well,
Make up your fucking mind.
I like him better just winning the title. I don't like him winning the Rumble.
Oh. You gotta be specific.
Yeah.
Jimmy Snuka, Michael, given 6 months by his doctors to live. Obviously, that was why his case
Well, I hope
was...
that piece of shit dies sooner than that.
Do you think he did it?
Yeah.
You do?
Fuck yeah.
I do too.
I hope a piece of shit dies tomorrow.
I think you
I hope you die in your sleep tonight. Actually, well, not even in your sleep. I hope somebody stabs you in the ball sack
Oh,
and you bleed to death.
Jesus Christ. He wouldn't remember it. Oh, that's awful.
Fucking woman beating, killing motherfucker.
Well, we don't know facts. We don't know that he really did it. But if anyone goes back and watches a Jimmy Snuka promo from the 80s, that man was one of the biggest abusers of cocaine. I have it on...
Roids.
Yes, and roids. And even in his promos, he was roid raging.
Yeah.
Did you see it was like him and Vince in an empty arena, and he just starts throwing chairs, flipping
Yeah.
shit. You can't see Jimmy Snuka doing that, people? Come on. I mean, it is what it is.
Like I said, I hope he gets stabbed in the ball sack and he bleeds to death.
I don't wish all that. I just
do.
thought it was valid to bring up. He was all over. He was on
Tamina,
Facebook
I don't care
this
if you
week.
like it or not.
Well.
Your dad's a fucking woman beater and a murderer.
Where's Tamina?
Who gives a shit?
She's hanging low.
Yeah.
Motherfucker!
Probably not as low as dad.
Ugh. That could have been taken so many
Yeah.
different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say best wishes, but
I don't
know if you really killed somebody, so I'm not.
I don't have any best wishes for you, bud. I never even liked Jimmy Snuka, to be honest with you. Even when he was like,
I didn't either. I
even when he was
wasn't.
supposed to be some big popular thing, I never liked him.
Super.
Yeah, I thought he was just weird.
He was, and especially when he came back in like '90.
Yeah,
And he did the
he had the goatee or the beard or whatever.
Yeah, and he
had.
did that stupid sound.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was really
One of the worst Survivor Series scenes of all time was
One of-
Roddy Piper, Jimmy Snuka, and the Bushwhackers.
one of the most overrated wrestlers of all time, Jimmy Snuka.
I agree. I totally agree. I think that match with Morocco was so overrated. There's like 2 spots, nothing rest holds, but it's the
Yeah.
'80s.
What do you expect? Ric Flair made a career off of it.
Ric Flair, maybe Hercules. made a
Rest
career off
Rest
wrestling.
Hold University, Ric Flair.
Speaking of
I
Hercules,
think he's the dean of Rest Hold University.
Hercules?
Ric Flair.
Oh, Ric Flair. What's Hercules the dean of? This week he was the dean of Slam Pig Cinema, Michael. New
Yeah.
episode. I want to thank everyone real quick for all the feedback we got on Slam Pigs. The views could be a little higher, guys, but
It could be.
we appreciate the feedback. Glad you guys are enjoying them. We like
Yeah.
doing them. So
I mean, they're shorties, guys. Come on, get on them.
trying to get them out every Saturday at midnight. Slam Pig Cinema. So
The fact that we have not had more views and comments on this past one is just beyond me, because that one was one of my favorites.
go down in history.
Yes,
It's one of the grossest videos ever on Hibiki TMD.
Yes, and you guys are not watching it. What is wrong with you?
Don't yell at the listeners.
I'm sorry.
Tune out.
Um,
Want them to come back, not
What's wrong with you?
I was your partner.
Yeah.
Speaking
The
of
fuck? Put in all this hard work for you people to have something to watch, and you don't even watch it.
Speaking of bald-headed steroid abusers, Ryback is in the news this week. What the fuck's going on? Where's he headed?
There's a rumor that he's headed to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's supposed to be the newest member of the Bullet Club. They have been teasing this man-eater and this kind of thing as the new member of the Bullet Club, and everyone knows his 90 days
It's up.
Or pretty much
Just
up.
about up,
Yep. And he's going to be free to wrestle wherever he pleases. And I think anybody that gets teased as this big bulldozer and man-eater and stuff, who else but the guy who likes to be fed more?
Yeah.
Ryback.
Calling him a man-eater is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
And NJPW, he's coming.
Does Ryback fit in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Michael?
Well, I think we both agree on this. His last year in the company, he showed strong strides in his in-ring work.
I think he was given more freedom.
Well, that, and you could tell that as a worker, he had really gotten a lot better. I don't think he was given. I don't think he was given enough credit. I don't think he was given enough credit for how much better he got in the ring over the past year or two. And I think it's a lot has to do with his character not being as over as it once was.
Well, that's WWE's fault, totally.
And yeah, they
fault.
ruined him.
Yeah.
But I think his in-ring work definitely improved. He's probably twice the worker he was at least 3 years ago.
I think Ryback's first push when he first started feuding with Punk,
Yeah.
that's going to go down as one of the biggest wasted opportunities. Because
Yeah.
they squandered every part of it. He lost consecutively for months.
He was the hottest thing in wrestling at that point.
And it's crazy looking back. We say Ryback was the hottest thing in wrestling. He
Yeah.
really was, guys, in like late 2012.
I mean, think about it. You go back and look at and listen to those pops when he would come out.
Yeah.
That guy was over.
Well, when he first came in doing like, he would fight two jobbers at a
Yeah.
time, he wasn't over. He was
No.
getting Goldberg chance.
Yeah.
Then he got himself over, and then nobody saw him being springboarded into that feud with Punk. That
Yeah.
came out of left field. This
That-
was that time where they needed new guys instead of Cena.
I felt like
Orton.
they pushed him a little too soon, and they didn't exactly know what to do with him, so they just had him loose.
The right thing they should have done, they should have just kept the rocket on his back, kept pushing him. They should have gave him that title by the end of 2012, at least for a month.
Mhm.
Give him some kind of credibility.
Then he can get screwed over for it if that's
Yeah.
how you want it.
Yeah, not by
But-
Brad Maddox.
Yeah.
Fucking referee. Jesus Christ. I'm so glad Brad Maddox is out of the equation. What a
He was a hell of a worker.
yeah. Never seen him wrestle, but hell of a worker. But best wishes, Ryback. Hope it works out for you. And I can't believe the Bullet Club's still a thing. That group has been going on for years now,
Yeah.
like years. We'll see where it goes, Michael.
I mean, you got Steve Corino coming to WWE who says, yeah, Ryback can't be a Bullet Club member.
Steve Corino wasn't in the Bullet Club.
I'm just saying, he's coming to WWE. Nobody ever saw that coming.
He's not really coming. He's coming as a trainer.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Whoever saw Steve Corino getting anywhere.
Yeah. Shout out to Steve Corino.
Yeah, congratulations.
I figured
once again.
Lance Storm would be a trainer there by now, but he's not. He has his own school.
They probably didn't have enough charisma.
Well, a lot of the guys now from NXT in the main, like, were trained by Lance. Like Tyler Breeze trained by. I think Alexa Bliss. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. I think she was trained at the Storm Academy. So a lot of talent coming out of his school. He knows what he's doing.
Tyler
Obviously,
Breeze.
I hope he's not teaching them promos. I just hope he's teaching them in ring work. But
That charisma.
hey, I tweet Lance Storm sometimes. He's one of the best actual legit wrestlers that are good at tweeting you back. So I like Lance Storm. He's a nice guy.
Probably got a lot of free time.
He runs a wrestling school. Probably not. Maybe he's tweeting at the school. Maybe they listen to this show at the Lance Storm Wrestling School.
Well, then why aren't they commenting?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You intimidate them.
Grow some balls and comment something.
They're afraid.
Don't give a shit.
Speaking of afraid, we got to get Lee back on. I've been talking to Lee a little bit, not a lot. We got to talk this man into come back on the show
Is
because
he ever going to find his wiener and come back on the show?
listeners Mary Hatcher has asked about Lee, Sasha Janine. So people are asking about you, Lee. Gauntlets issued, and Elliot from Kayfabe today still waiting. I haven't heard a peep.
No response.
Not a peep.
Nope.
We'll see.
Amar Johnson, what's going on with your boy?
I don't know. Maybe people were afraid to come on our show.
What are they afraid of?
You. Flat out say it. You.
Why are they afraid
You're
of me?
fucking dick.
Why are they
You're
afraid?
every guest we've had on, except maybe Corey, the bagel guy, you've been a dick.
I haven't been a dick to Amar Johnson.
What did you just call him?
That's his name. He likes it.
No, it's not his name.
He likes it.
His name's Eric Amar.
He likes it.
He does not like it.
And regardless, has anyone ever stood up to a dickhead before? I mean, honestly. Grow a set of balls and fire back if you don't like it.
I'll stand up to you all day.
For
But
God's
I'm
sake.
fucking host.
I don't want to hear that people are scared to come on the show because of me. Big bad me, all 6 foot, 220 pounds me. Jesus Christ.
Just a regular Bret Hart with your height and weight over here.
Christ's sake. He was 234.
So sad. And I knew that too. It's so sad that we know that.
Well, just saying.
Top 3 time, Mike.
It is time for this week's
Let's pick this show back up.
top 3.
Going off the rails a little bit. This last week, our first installment of the top 3.
Who's our second?
Was it? What was our first top 3?
The first one was, what We had Survivor Series last time.
So top three Survivor Series, and last week was shit.
The one before that, we
In
did
your house.
Yes, top 3 in your house matches.
But this week, fitting in with the theme of tonight's pay-per-view, we thought about TL's top 3 TLC matches, but they're not as memorable as top 3 ladder matches of all time. Now the ladder match concept
Felt like it needed it.
is one of the best gimmick matches in my opinion. It's one of my favorite gimmick matches. I could watch a ladder match all day, depending on who's in it, if it's done right. But yeah, we've seen all kinds of ladder matches over the year. We've seen everyone from the Junkyard Dog to Jeff Hardy to Shelton Benjamin.
Jeff Harvey?
Thank you, Mike Adamley. Yeah. You want to kick this off? Top 3 ladder matches this week?
Age before beauty, Travis.
Getting really tired of that going first shit, but I guess I'll bring it in.
Got to break the mold.
Top 3 ladder matches. Number 3 for me, it's not one of those ladder matches you're ever going to hear WWE talk about again. TLC 3, because of a certain member in this match. Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
You had Chris Benoit and Jericho against the This was on SmackDown, too. First ever network televised ladder match.
Wow.
Against the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. 4 teams, great match. No reason none of you guys should check this match out. You shouldn't check this match out. I mean, you need to check this match out. It was just great.
Basically, you just unadvertised it. No reason anybody should ever watch
You guys should watch this match. You had a Walls of Jericho on top of the ladder. I think you had a Crippler Crossface on top of the ladder on Edge. Somehow they got that spot in. Table spots, the usual shebang. Yeah, that's my number 3. Ladder. Even though technically it's a TLC match, it's a fucking ladder match.
All right.
What do you think of that? Hot shot?
You ever wonder that?
Do you remember that match a lot, Michael?
No.
Did you ever see it?
No. I'll have to look that one up, as will the listeners. And once again, something else I haven't brought up, guys. What the fuck's been going on with the lack of comments and questions? Honestly, it's been like 2-3 weeks.
We know you're watching.
We know you're watching.
We see the views.
We see the views.
I see the
there.
algorithms. I maintain the site.
But we're not getting the interaction. If we have to mention it again, we are the most interactive wrestling podcast.
Wait, you just did the whole. You got to do. We are the most what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Interactive pro wrestling podcast on the internet
not yelling.
by far.
No wonder they don't comment. You're just going interactive.
Sorry, my throat's a little sore.
Oh, okay. We'll smoke another cigarette there, Bugsy.
But Jesus Christ, people, can I get some interaction here? Just because I'm on Twitter doesn't mean you got to stop commenting and asking questions. Fuck.
Yeah, they're greatly appreciated. We love the feedback. It makes the show what it is. So many shows in 37 episodes.
I'll quit again. Y'all want to quit asking questions? I'll quit.
He's not going to quit. He's not doing that. He's signed into a contract now. He's not going to quit. Or we'll see you in court on next week, Michael, if you quit. Want to go over the paperwork again? Do we need to revisit that?
Don't talk to me about legal mumbo jumbo right now.
Why?
I don't want to go over it.
Because you're drunk.
I'm not drunk. I just don't feel like going through all the paperwork.
All right. But yeah, guys, give us some more comments. Let us know how you think, your thoughts on everything. We love the questions. That's my favorite part of doing the show. So.
Yes. Can I get some? Can I get a little bit? Fuck.
Top 3 ladder matches, Michael.
My number 3. My number 3 comes from 1998 for the Intercontinental Strap.
I did not like this match.
Triple H versus The Rock.
I did not like this match.
Why?
I don't know. That something about this match. This is also 98. The only ladder matches you ever saw in WWE up until this point were the Shawn and Razors, I think. I don't think there were, maybe Brett and Shawn, but that was like a house show.
That was actually before Shawn and Razor anyway.
Yeah, 92 was the first ladder match. Though. But this happened in 98. It happened off the tails of 2 of the greatest ladder matches of all time. Just didn't live up. The guys in it weren't capable of doing what Shawn Michaels did. And you can look at me funny all day. Triple H will never be Shawn Michaels.
I'm not saying he is, but I thought
he was.
I thought the match was a lot more physical than Razor and Shawn.
It was physical. It was just too slow paced for me. It was just.
I thought a great story
match.
Was told, but
with Triple H with the one leg, that was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I thought it was a great, and it was in Madison Square Garden.
I'll say one thing: that crowd went apeshit when he won the belt, and sadly, Triple H dropped the title. Like he had an injury, right?
Obviously, they won the crowd over in this match, so it must have been pretty good.
This was Triple H's purple tights match. The only time he wore those fucking purple tights, I remember.
You
right?
Like them?
And he had.
He's wearing the pants.
The DX band played him out horrible. God, they were awful live. Every time, never failed. You can always count on the DX band to fuck it all up. I know the singer of the DX band actually passed away this year. I'm pretty sure. So,
way to go.
Yeah.
Way to be a dick.
No wonder we don't have feedback. Insult dead people.
That would be all the feedback we get. Way to insult dead people, you assholes.
If they've made it this far in the show. It's a solid pick. Not one of my favorite ladder matches, but I liked it. Well done.
Triple H gets the win over Heel Rock. Nation Rock.
Nation Rock with Mark
Nation
Henry.
Rock versus DX Triple H. And China gets the interference, gives the patented low blow to The Rock. Triple H gets the victory.
See, that's what I didn't like. You needed interference to get a babyface to win.
Well,
I think
Mark
that's one of the
Henry had
main-
already interfered numerous times in the match.
Yeah.
What's fair is fair.
I think this was the first time, if I remember correct, the crowd started getting behind The Rock like really big. Like,
Yeah.
you could see Rock was going to be a fucking star in this match. Just the reactions he was getting. He was over, just like Triple H in this match.
Yeah. But that was my number 3.
You know, a match I thought was better of those two, not to dwell on it. The month before it fully loaded, that 30-minute time limit they went to, that was a great match. Probably maybe their best match they ever had ever.
Yeah, I like the ending to that too.
Time limit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see that enough anymore.
You don't. Solid
I like
number 3.
Your number
Yes.
2.
My number 2. Going old school again, why not? SummerSlam 95, Michael. Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. The second ladder matches, this doesn't get nearly talked about as much as the first. This match had it all. You had moonsaults off the ladder, never been seen before. In 95, that was insane to see. What made this match a little different with Shawn and Razor, both baby faces going in.
Yeah.
That made it a little. This was also, it was
Razor
original.
was the champ going into this.
No, Shawn. Shawn Michaels
Shawn was
the
the champ going
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, and he retained. He was
Okay.
the winner. What's interesting about that, I don't know if you remember, this is when Gorilla Monsoon in storyline was made the president,
Yeah.
right? And it was supposed to be like Sid and Shawn.
Yeah.
And this is when Gorilla Monsoon came in and was like, oh, wild card matches and babyface versus babyface. Yeah,
Yeah.
he made it Razor and Shawn. So,
My whole thing was, as long as Razor was in the company, how long can you make a guy a fucking intercontinental contender? Either get rid of the guy or give him a bigger push.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
that could be why he left for WCW,
Yeah,
but was he a world champion in WCW?
No.
Yeah.
Well, he won the world title.
Can I be honest about
Did he win
something?
the world title in WCW?
No. He had world title matches
Okay.
against Goldberg in like a ladder match,
Yeah.
believe it or not. God, that was a shit fest. Goldberg in a ladder match. This is going to be unpopular opinion, probably even with you. I know the listeners. I love Razor. He's one of my all-time favorites. Never saw him as a world title guy. I see him just like Dean Ambrose. He's an IC guy. He just didn't fit the mold to me as a world title contender.
I think he could have been a contender if he was booked right.
Maybe.
I could see him as if they'd have put the belt on a heel that people really hated, I feel like he could have been a contender.
And there were a lot back then.
Yeah, I feel like there were a lot of ways he could have done, especially if you'd have put the title on somebody like Vader or
Yoko.
Yeah, or Yoko, somebody like that. I could see Razor, being a contender and maybe winning the belt.
Yeah.
But longevity, I don't know. But we never had the opportunity to see it.
Yeah.
So who knows? But
Scott Hall also had a lot of personal demons. It's well documented.
wasn't the easiest person to work with.
Not that he. I just think he had a lot of drug issues. Vince didn't want to take a risk. Obviously, would you?
I mean, hello, pot this kettle, you're black. I mean, Shawn Michaels was your world champ.
Yeah, well, it's different. It's Shawn. He got a pass with Vince for some reason.
Because he sucked it. But
Number 2.
number
you,
2
Michael.
for me is going to be the very first Money in the Bank ladder match, WrestleMania 21.
It's a good one.
Edge gets the win. That was a great match. I thought Shelton Benjamin actually stole the show in this match. There were a few spots in this match where Shelton Benjamin did some shit where I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And he's another guy that was an intercontinental guy that didn't really have the skills on the microphone.
No.
But in the ring, man, I remember that. You remember that match he had with Shawn Michaels on Raw?
Yes, with the super kick off the
Yes.
springboard. That was
a
crazy.
hell of a fucking match.
Yeah, that's on the best of Raw DVD.
Yeah.
That was such a good spot.
I mean, when it comes to in-ring work, and I know he's recovering from injury, he's supposed to be
Yeah.
coming back.
Maybe.
For WWE.
He's got like 5 or 6 more months.
Yeah,
out. I was about to say I feel really bad for Shelton because he was about to come back to SmackDown this year. And he got injured, and I was ready. I was pumped for Shelton. You knew I was.
Yeah, you love
I
you
was
some
hyped.
Shelby.
I do. How can you not like
You love
Shelton?
that gold standard.
I didn't think he'd bring that gimmick back. The Butch Reed dyed hair.
World's greatest tag team? Some Haas? Haas?
Charlie Haas. Ugh.
But yes, Shelton Benjamin, as far as in-ring talent, I would have no problem saying of all time, he may have been in the top 10 as far as in-ring talent in WWE history. A lot of people might look at you funny when you say that, but they obviously haven't watched enough Shelton Benjamin to really notice.
Yeah.
So, that guy could have a match with anybody.
Fun fact about Shelton Benjamin: he went to Minnesota with Brock.
Yeah, they were roommates.
He was Brock's coach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were actually roommates.
they were.
So,
Golden Gophers, shout out to
Yeah.
the
Way to go, Minnesota.
Yeah.
But that's my number 2. Edge gets the win there, and everybody remembers he cashed it in for his first ever world title against John Cena.
at New Year's Revolution
Yep.
later that year. So
Yep.
springboarded Edge's career to
Yep.
the main event.
That was That was a match actually brought up by Chris Jericho. It was his idea,
He invented it.
and he was in the match.
Legit came up with that too.
So
Vince was really against Edge actually winning the big one.
Yeah.
I know agents had to really talk Vince into that one. But Vince, I mean, he seemed to like
he
him.
didn't see Edge as the main event guy
Did you?
at that time with the gimmick with Lita. Yeah,
I did too. I
I
didn't
thought-
think he'd win the title 11 fucking times or how
no,
many. But
but I mean, looking back on it, I mean, the guy took his opportunity, made the most of it, and he was probably one of the biggest overachievers in wrestling history.
oh yeah,
So I mean, you think about the guy's size and
never really built.
Yeah, I
Except
mean,
maybe when he first came
when he
in.
was an Intercontinental guy, he was pretty ripped as far as 6-pack abs and stuff like that. But as far as stature wise, you never saw that guy as that guy's a knockout. There's no way he doesn't win a title.
Yeah.
You know, you saw him more as an Intercontinental guy, but then you could see he started to find himself as a character.
Yeah.
And he just got better and better from it. Edge is one of my sleepers for great wrestling talent of all time.
Yeah.
I thought he was good in the ring. I thought he was good on a microphone. I thought he had charisma. He was one of those guys. I mean, there was times where I was like, Jesus Christ, Ed, shut up.
Yeah.
But there was also some other times where I was like, all right, that was pretty funny.
Did you prefer babyface Edge or heel Edge?
Heel.
Yeah, me too. I'll take any version of Edge over.
I mean, him and Christian together were pretty funny too.
Well, and they still carry that on the Edge and Christian show. It's
Yeah.
tremendous. I can't stress how great that show is.
After the first episode, I wasn't really into it.
no,
and then I
but
watched
then
some
that
more.
shit picked the pace
Yeah.
up like fast. You had all the legends
Yeah.
on there, and
It was pretty funny. But
very good.
that's my number 2.
Very good. I don't know if we're gonna have the same one.
I know which one you're going to pick, and mine's going to be different just because I know which one you're going to pick.
WrestleMania 17, Michael. Tables, ladders, and chairs 2. What can you say? I didn't
Hardy
want to.
Boys, Dudley Boys,
Yep.
Edge and Christian.
Plus Spike Dudley. You had Lita. You had Rhino. Shout out, there he is, slipping in. Everybody
he
got
still had
involved.
facial hair back then.
First of all, WrestleMania 17 from the Astrodome, in my opinion, one of the best WrestleManias of all time.
WrestleMania 2000.
No, the year after, when it was Rock and Austin, where Austin turned
Oh,
heel
okay.
in the Astrodome. One of the best WrestleManias there. You had the gimmick battle royal.
Mm-hmm.
You opened the show with Jericho and Regal. Great IC title match. I don't know. I love that WrestleMania for some reason. What can you say
You
about?
had Undertaker and Triple H.
Yes, it was a good match. Really good match. What can you say about this match? I mean, that hasn't already been said. If you guys have never seen this match, or
So you like this one better than the first one?
I do, way
Okay.
better. Well, they had two. They had the WrestleMania the year before. Then
Yeah.
they had SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But this one, bottom line, the spear from Edge off the ladder, that's going to go down. That's going to live forever. That's classic. Jeff Hardy, of course, killing himself. Well, I said Spike Dudley interfered. They just found so many clever ways to incorporate people into this, to go through. Like, Spike Dudley gave somebody his finish through, I think Christian. Lita, I think, got hit with the chair or something.
Yeah.
Lita got Rhino. So, I don't know. I'm not gonna go into detail in this match because 90% of you have probably seen it.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you've seen clips of it.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen it, get on it. Because you're
Hell of
doing
a
yourself
match.
an injustice by not seeing
I
the
think
match.
they got to the point after this where they kept wanting them to have more of these matches, and they
Yeah.
were like, well, how are we supposed to top
You
it?
keep raising the bar,
Yeah.
and you keep raising the bar, and it get to a point you just can't raise it anymore. And
I think ladder matches are the best when you have more participants. I think one-on-one ladder matches are so tough to get over these days.
yeah. Well,
just
tonight
because there's only 2 people.
we saw Ambrose and Styles get over tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw the Miz and Ziggler get over, but I compared to like this match,
Yeah.
it's and any kind of Money in the Bank match, it's the more people you have, the more time
The
for
more spots you can incorporate.
yeah, the more spots and the less rest, and the more nonstop action entertainment. It's just, I think it's better when you have multiple participants, more as in more than 2.
Well, I'm just going to take a nightcap because I already know you're number one. I already know what it is.
Yep.
You're number one all-time greatest ladder match.
My number 1 is pretty obvious. I think it's the most famous ladder match of all time. It's the first Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon from WrestleMania 10. For both Intercontinental titles, you had the Imposter Championship, and you had the Intercontinental Championship held by Razor. I think this is number 1 for me, just mostly out of nostalgia and the fact that it was one of those matches where you're like, holy shit. This was the first match.
94.
Yeah, this was the first time you ever saw this is the first time you really saw this match. And the fact that they had this guy, this was Shawn Michaels' coming out party right here. This was the time when you knew that Shawn Michaels was main event talent.
Came a long way from his nights at Survivor Series.
I mean, after this match, Shawn Michaels' stock went through the roof. And Razor kind of thought his was through the roof as well, but his didn't quite go as far as Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, I mean, there's so many spots in this match that you could go over. If you haven't seen this match,
that's an even bigger injustice.
Yeah.
This is like a staple fucking
wrestling history.
This is like being a fan of football and someone brings up the catch with Joe Montana. Like, what's that? Like, really?
I don't know what's wrong if you haven't seen this.
Can I tell you my favorite spot of this match? Shout out to Earl Hebner. You! Oh!
When he kicked out Diesel.
Yeah.
And Diesel loses his fucking mind.
I'm pretty sure you're the same with me because we had the OG VHS of this.
Yeah.
Can you? This is one of those matches I've seen so many fucking times. I have it just broided in my head.
Yeah.
I can remember almost every part of this match. But the ending, especially in 94, and we just saw AJ Styles do this on SmackDown with Ellsworth. Fell off, got caught in the ropes with his arm. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
And he sold it so fucking well.
Yeah.
Ambrose, take fucking notes how to sell. Jesus Christ. Kurt Hawkins and Dean Ambrose can both suck my dick. Legit.
You don't like Kurt Hawkins still.
He's got a stick.
So? You don't like his stick? Don't look at me like that.
Can you put a phone on it and take pictures? No, you can't.
That's Tyler Breeze. Can't. That's gimmick infringement.
We went from one of the greatest matches of all time to Kurt Hawkins.
Well,
it's
you
my
brought
fault.
him up.
I know. It's my fault. But
WrestleMania 10, folks, the ladder match.
Yeah.
That's why they call it that. They called this match the ladder match.
Yep.
So that's why it's my number one. It may not, looking back at it now, may not be the best ladder match of all time, but it was definitely.
I think story, psychology-wise,
Yes,
it's one of the best.
This was the match that pretty much set the table for everything. So as to what a ladder match has become these days, I think they still have a lot to learn.
Can I say something that might not be popular even with you? That first ladder match you brought up with Brett and Shawn from '92 kind of sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
No, it's not very good at all. I can't even watch that match. It's so bad.
But it was
like not bad, but just like.
But it was the first one.
Yeah.
And
in WWE,
I think Shawn benefited a lot from having that match to learn what he could do with that match.
Now the ladder match originated in Stampede Wrestling, correct? Like Stu Hart came up with that gimmick, or Bruce, one of them.
I mean, there's been ladder matches for years. A lot of people say they came up with it. I'm not sure who exactly originated it, but ladder matches have been around for a long time, but obviously not as entertaining as these.
Ooh, those Stampede ladder matches. They had one side with the steps, and the other was like the paint holder. Yeah. Oh man! But is Bret Hart the harbinger to? You know, do you think he went to Vince like, "Hey, my dad did this. We should do it here"?
Well, this was considered Bret's idea.
Was that in the book?
Yeah, it was in the book that it was his idea, and Shawn kind of stole it from him to have the match with Razor. It was supposed to be Bret and Shawn that had it at WrestleMania or whenever, but it never happened.
Yeah,
and that's just the way things went down. I would have loved to have seen Bret and Shawn in a ladder match, like after '92.
Yeah, a couple years later.
I think that match could have been awesome.
'96.
I mean, I'm trying to remember. Bret was never in a ladder match.
Not after this. That was his only ladder match,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
He was never in a ladder match. So I feel like that match could have been like a great staple in their feud if they'd had a ladder match, especially when Bret was a heel. I feel like that match could have done big time business.
Honorable mentions real quick. Eddie Guerrero.
Who would have been your number 4?
Eddie Guerrero and Rob Van Dam on Raw.
That was a good one.
Holy shit. Some of the spots in that hold up to this day, they still make you go, ugh, like they're nasty. What more could you say about Eddie Guerrero? We don't even need it. But Rob Van Dam, kind of sloppy, but I was an RVD fan.
He was a botcher.
But
he's from ECW. It's expected.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like they train you to botch. Fucking ECW.
Here's Sabu.
Motherfucker!
Yeah. Here's Sabu. This is what not to do. Jesus Christ.
Here's New Jack. Not a fucking wrestling hold in sight. Just weapons and balconies and white girls and... Christ. On that note...
My honorable mention would have been the first TLC match.
It's
WrestleMania 2000. So
one of my least favorite.
That would have been that was definitely the best match on that card.
You know, fun fact about that WrestleMania, not one singles match. The only time
it's all gimmick matches.
Well, not gimmick
matches and tag matches and triple threats and
Not one of my favorites.
But that was definitely the best match on that card. So
I think it's that time. I think we reached the end of the road, like
That
boys
was
and
it.
men. Once again, thank you for joining me as always, Michael.
you're welcome.
Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SlamPigs Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at the Hibiki TMD. Check out the brand new show in Hibiki TMD dropping this week. The reset button with myself and Tannen. The Hard to Name podcast is done. Moving on, keeping the train going because you can't just stay idle, Michael.
We hit the reset button.
What do you got going on in your Twitter world? Where can everyone find you at once again? You got some more updates coming
Guys,
with
come
history and
Guys, come find me at Mike the Slam Pig on Twitter. Also, you can look us up at the Slam Pigs Podcast on Facebook. Guys, I do a special every day on Twitter. This day in wrestling history, I find some deep cuts and put them in there for you to make sure you can remember great moments in wrestling history like today. Today, did people know that 25 years ago, today was Tuesday in Texas?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
You ever wonder that?
Every day of my life.
That was actually a great experiment from WWE that didn't go over well.
Wasn't that like an hour long?
It was over an hour, but
an hour
I think
30.
it was 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
And it didn't get very many pay-per-view buys. I think it got like 100,000 pay-per-view buys.
They lost their ass on that one.
Yeah, well,
Plus, it was the holiday season.
Well, it was a Tuesday.
Well, you think that would be ideal?
I mean, you saw they tried to bring it back years later with Taboo Tuesday, and it still sucked shit. So it didn't go over well, but the pay-per-view itself I didn't think was terrible.
Wasn't there fucking like Virgil versus Repo Man in a tag match or something? It was Virgil and Duggan versus Repo and
DiBiase.
What did the show open with, Michael?
The show opened with Bret Hart defending his Intercontinental Championship against Skinner.
One of my favorite matches of all time.
Yes, Skinner.
And wrestlers.
Skinner, hell of a worker. But you also had The Undertaker going against Hulk Hogan for the championship. Yeah. This was with The Undertaker defending the belt. This is what led to the Royal Rumble that year where Ric Flair was crowned champ.
Madman Jack Tunney at ringside for this one.
Yep.
Shout out to Jack Tunney. Rest in
Shout
peace.
out to another Canadian man.
Who's dead?
Jack Tunney.
God, the worst
Amar
president.
Johnson, probably a big fan of him.
How the fuck did Jack Tunney fall into that job? Did he have any goddamn mics? The main event will be Hulk Hogan instead. Jesus Christ, Jack Tunney. No wonder you got fucking the axe by like 95. Holy shit. We'll have to go out on Jack
Jack
Tunney.
Tunney's really good. I think that might even be better than your new Jack. Jesus Christ.
God.
For the main event.
For everyone that doesn't know who Jack Tunney is, they've already ended the show.
Yeah.
They've tuned out.
Look it up.
But for those of
Please.
you who do know who Jack Tunney is, we love you.
Guys, make sure to check me out on Twitter every day. I have a new This Day in Wrestling History, little fun facts for you on each day of the year for wrestling.
Be sure to check me out on Twitter. I cuss every day on Twitter, so that's something.
Well, that's good.
That's neat.
That's good.
And
You didn't cuss today.
I cussed, especially during that Ambrose match.
Oh, I
cussed.
haven't looked at it in the past couple hours.
Yeah, I cussed.
So you got it in towards the end of the night. All right.
I got it in.
You had to sneak it in because you forgot.
Yeah.
I mean, he cusses on Twitter. I give you little tidbits of history.
So if you guys like swear words in history,
Who knows? Maybe I'll show a picture of my butt cheek on Twitter.
well, then you just lost like all your followers and our listeners. Thank you.
I don't know. There's some listeners that might like it. What do you think, Air Melody? Huh?
Ugh.
Sasha, Lee. Lee likes it, I bet. That's why he hasn't come back on the show. He's ashamed.
Well, for myself,
He has a man crush on me.
will you be serious?
He does.
For myself, Michael, this is Slam Pigs Podcast TLC Post Show. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week for our normal show. Maybe we'll have some bagels. Maybe with cream cheese.
Some cream cheese.
I like jalapeno cream cheese.
Maybe we'll have Logies.
Really?
Maybe we'll have Amar Johnson.
You want Logan back, huh?
I've never said that. You were throwing out ideas, so it
Oh,
felt like I was supposed to.
maybe we'll have Bruce Pritchard on. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Maybe Dave Meltzer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So, there you have it.
That's
I
it, guys.
got nothing.
That's it.
You guys got to get out. Get out.
Okay, bye.
See ya.
Hey guys, Mike here from the Slam Pigs Podcast, reminding you, as always, Check us out on Twitter at Slam Pigs Podcast. Check us out on Facebook, the Slam Pigs Podcast. Or, as always, check us out on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Hibiki TMD is where it's at. Until we meet again, oink oink.